Today I'm going to show you how to do some diagnostics on your dome light switch. Let's say that your dome light does not work if you turn it into the on position or the door position so that when your car door is open, the dome light comes on. But let's just say for argument's sake that your dome light is done, it's not working. And we're just going to be rehashing some of the principles that I showed you in the last video for the map light diagnostics. So first thing, obviously, check your room fuse. Second thing, obviously, check the bulb that's inside of here. You can run out to your local auto parts store, find a bulb, probably going to be $2 or $3, stick the new bulb in there. If that does not work, that means you're obviously dealing with some type of interior wiring issue between the dome light and your power distribution, which is your room fuse. Now before we even begin with this, I have to say that all 1993 to 2002 Mazda 626 dome lights are different between years and models. The wiring color, definitely not going to be the same. Do not depend on wiring color. You are used to seeing it from this angle. So, and you don't see the notches. The notch is actually on the opposite side, on the passenger side. There we go. Now that we have our dome cover out, you can see the light bulb in there, as well as the two prongs that hang down on either side of the light bulb. And that light bulb is just pushed up inside of there, and those two prongs on each side have a hole that holds it in. Okay, so you just kind of hold your hand, you get the palm of your hand out like that and press down on the one side. Make sure this is off. And there it is. And in order to reinstall it, all you have to do is press this up in here. Like so, basically, until you get it in the two notches on either side. Then you're good to go. Now in order to remove the dome light housing, you have 2 screws here. And this screw is actually a grounding screw. You have to make sure that that grounding strap is around that screw, and that screw is in the housing, because that's what provides ground for your dome light. So that's basically diagnostic step number 1. Make sure that grounding strap is good. And that's just basically crimped onto the negative wire there. And then here's your connector, and that's obviously what we want to get at for our tests. To press down on that while you shoot it out the other side, like so. Okay, it's a multimeter party. Everybody break out your multimeters. Alright, switch it on to DC. We got DC. I'm just going to use the auto range feature. Doesn't matter which one. Right now I'm just checking for voltage. I want to see if these suckers have voltage. Touch body ground. Right now I'm only getting some millivolts here. I'm getting 66 millivolts. So we have one positive, one negative, and then a negative ground strap. So the negative on this wire is independent of the ground strap. So weird. Alright, that's a 65 millivolts. There's the red and the white. Blue and pink is going to be the 12 volt. So basically, all you need to know is that one of these is going to be 12 volts, and the other one is probably going to be about 60 something millivolts. My guess is that it should be 0, and I could be getting some feedback from a parasitic drain. I'm not exactly sure. In order to check the integrity of the wiring to the dome light, this is going to get complicated, and you're not going to like it. I'm telling you right now, you're not going to like it. But here's how you do it. This happens to be a joint box. You're all familiar with the fuse box near the driver's foot. Got a cover on it, but this is basically how it looks when you're staring straight at it. This is what it looks on the back side. I actually pulled this from a 1996 V6 ES, and I wanted this particular one for a different project in the future. But this box in the back right here, this piece is the CPU unit. This whole housing houses the CPU. This is the logical unit. It distributes power through the fuse box, but all the programming that is interior to the car is inside of this unit. All your circuit boards and an actual physical CPU are inside of here. So before you start tracing this, you have to disconnect it. You do not have to remove it. It's going to be connected with a plug like that on the side. You just have to pop it off so that you can have access. Oh, there we go. Okay. Now the reason that that's so hard to get off is because on the other side of here is actually a physical socket. And this is what connects the CPU module. This is a module to the fuse box. Okay? And you see those pins in there? Yeah. That's what you have to get at. Be looking at it kind of like this. So it'll be A, B, C, D, E from top to bottom. Okay, so you just kind of lay it over on its side a little bit. You turn your multimeter to continuity test. You stick your multimeter on 1F and make sure you're only touching 1F. And then you take your negative lead and you touch this somewhere on body ground. Has to be good metal to metal contact, has to be a good ground, and you should get continuity. In this example, the next step, you would check for continuity, and then you take this red white, you can basically just go like that and pinch it. You should go to ground. I actually failed this step. Oh, there we go. Just a matter of contact. There we go. Okay, so that's done. I have good ground on that. And it doesn't matter that I have my black lead on this, because continuity, it doesn't matter. Polarity does not matter. Okay, so that's all for step 4. Step 5, we're going to come back to the joint box. We're going to go from 1E to ground. So get out continuity again. Now I'm bench testing this, but you would want to do this while this is installed in your car and all of the power feeds and everything are attached. This is not actually a bench testing procedure. The only reason I'm doing this on a bench is because I have a junkyard part where I can more easily show you on a bench, because the lighting sucks in my car. Turn your meters to continuity. Okay, and go to pin 1E. Alright, so I'm on 1E and I'm not touching anything else, just 1E. And then you take this, your negative probe, and you find that a ground somewhere on the body. Usually I use a bolt that is inside the door well, kind of like a door hinge, but it's not painted, it's bare metal. Make sure it's not rusted either. It has to be good, clean metal. Now if you get good continuity on pin 1E and ground, that means the problem is in your CPU, and you're going to have to replace your CPU module, because that means that there's no wiring issues anywhere that you detected up to this point, right? Otherwise you would have fixed the break in that wiring. That's what all of this is about, is finding the break in the wiring that's going to be the cause for your dome light not working correctly. And we've covered every possible scenario that I can think of and that the manual shows for why that dome light would not turn on. So if you get continuity on pin 1E, this is your last step. Now if you do not get continuity, that means it's going to be a door switch. So that goes back to my previous video that I did on map light diagnostics and checking your door switches. And so if you want to see how that's done, I'm not going to rehash that. I've already covered that in the map light diagnostics video. Go watch that in order to learn how to test your door switches. And you would have to check all 4 door switches as well. I only show how to check 1, but just to let you know, you do have to check all of your door switches. And that can be the only other issue. If you do get continuity, you do replace your CPU. You. I know it seems a little bit weird that you would test the door switches last. That's just to save time in the process of elimination. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. Everything here is in the right order. Now, if you're wondering why I got the 600ths or the 6,000ths or whatever the measurement was on that one wire, I believe I might have found the answer. And I'd be willing to bet that if I redid that test with my door closed, because this switch was open, I did not have that switch depressed, so it was turning on the light. And I'm guessing if I would have done that test, either the doors closed or with me just pressing that switch, I'm guessing that 600 millivolts would have gone bye-bye. That's just a guess, and I'm not too worried about it because everything functions correctly. This is just a diagnostic test, a theoretical test to help other people out. This is a known good working system. Everything works as it should in my system. So it's nice when you can do diagnostics on a good system so that you know how everything should work, just in case if in the future the time comes when you need that baseline, that you have a good baseline. And that's just another thing that I've learned from Scanner Danner, is it's always good to do testing on a known good system or to have those good baselines so that when things do go awry, you have something known good to fall back on. There are wiring color variations between the same exact year, just on a different transmission or a different trim level package. So do not depend on wiring colors. Always check your voltages, check your signals, check your body workshop manuals, do the right diagnostics, do the right procedures for your year, for your car. Things changed year to year in the 626, unlike some cars where they just churn out the same car for like 3 or 4 years at a time, same exact car. The Mazda 626 changed every single year. They were in there. They were updating stuff. They were pulling stuff apart and trying to put in new features and make the car better every single year. So every single year, something is going to be different. That's one of the things I love about the 626 is there are so many differences to learn about. There's always something different to learn. So anyway, that's all I got. That's the only thing I can think of for that. Just to test and just to show that everything works correctly in my car, I'm gonna press the door switch here. The dome light is on the door setting. So as soon as you open your car door, your light comes on. When you close your car door, your light goes off. The same thing with the courtesy lights. From start to finish, that is how you diagnose bad dome light wiring or a CPU issue with your dome light on Mazda 626 MX-6.